Hey, do me a favor. This is my, of course, our last day together. This is actually my first time to Washington, and I've seen 4 walls in a hotel room. And so, after my last panel today, I've got 24 hours left in Washington. And so, tweet at me or DM me, crazy number 4 Comic-Con, of what I should do, where I should eat, where I should go. Crazy number 4 Comic-Con. Let me know how I should spend my last 24 hours here in Washington. All right, well, hey, let's not waste any more time. Your favorite, the universe's favorite companion, please welcome to the stage, Billie Piper!
Good morning.
Well, we cannot waste any more time. We've got to talk about these sheets.
I know.
These are epic.
Oh, thank you.
This is like fit for a companion.
Isn't it?
Travel across the universe.
Really cosmic sci-fi.
I love it.
Killing machine.
A little bit like Kiss, you know, it's got it all. It's got it all. So. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Kicking off day 3 of AwesomeCon, and we've had a number of doctors and companions here with us, and so we could not continue without having the prototype of companions. You've been so amazing as Doctor Who sort of rebirth, especially here in the West. Your portrayal of the companion has been legendary and has really impacted lives, not just people here, but fans worldwide. And so, thank you for being here with us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So, we've been asking all of our guests here, where they started out, like how they kind of got into the entertainment industry. And yours is a little bit different because you really started out in music.
I did,
So tell us about that. Like you were going to be quite accomplished and successful in that. So, how early were you singing?
I signed a record contract when I was 14. So I started working professionally as a singer and releasing music when I was 15.
Oh my gosh. And
in the UK.
early on, you were like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Now when I reflect back on it, it was sort of mania for a child of that age. But yeah, when I was, I think it was when I was 15, I had my first #1 in the UK.
Oh my God. What was that like to see that song climb the charts and to reach that sort of status? Like, as a young kid, like, could you even process that? Because, it's so much pressure, it's so much happening. What's that?
I don't know. How did I process it? I was obviously delighted because I had been such a massive music fan my entire life, especially sort of pop music and dance music and hip hop. And I was just the biggest fan working in an industry surrounded by people that I admired. So I guess I was more preoccupied with the, oh my God, it's Janet Jackson, as opposed to, sort of strategizing about how I was going to become more successful. But then it's slightly changed course, and then once I had my first #1, I had some taste of that. I then really went after it in quite a weird, devoted way.
So, a lot of performers, a lot of artists can never even get a song on the charts, let alone top it. So, why the change? Like when you were young and when you were a young teen, like such a dramatic shift into acting. What was it inside you that wanted to shift to that?
Well, I always wanted to be an actor, and that was my biggest passion as a child, and that's where I put my focus when I trained. I never did singing. I always did after-school drama clubs or after-school dance clubs. I never did after-school singing clubs. But then when I got to about 12, I went to a theatre school in London to really study the craft, and that's where I learned to sing as well. Although I've never considered myself a very strong singer, like I could always hold a note, but it wasn't something that I ever intended to do in a more serious way. And so for a while, with the singing, I just really missed acting. I really missed my passion, and so I took a hiatus and did some more studying, and then started auditioning for jobs like Doctor Who.
We'll get to Doctor Who for sure, but any ambition to potentially revisit singing someday? It's such a trend now with you have Andy Kendrick and Harry Steinfeld and some of the actors that are like kind of getting into music. And so, do you have any potential ambition to revisit that someday?
I don't think so. I don't know though. I don't think I would do it in that way again, because the music industry was very, very hard, and certainly at that period of time where there really it was a boundaryless industry, kind of lawless, to be honest. And as much as I enjoyed those years, I also found them quite traumatic. And so I have this weird association with that part of my past that means that I can't really fully engage with it in an excited way. But I'm always looking for ways to dance and sing through my acting work. And actually, there's loads of ways I can pursue that in a way that feels less triggering, let's say.
So, of course, Doctor Who is prolific and is sort of ingrained in the culture of the UK as well as around the world.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're aware of it growing up. Were you very aware of it, or were you what was that like as far as?
I wasn't ever. I just remember the theme tune. I never sat down to watch it. My parents weren't Whovians. It wasn't a sort of regular fixture in our house. And in a way, I'm really glad, because I think I would have felt so frightened to even audition for the role of Rose if I knew what the fandom was. Or if I knew,
you guys.
Yeah, if I had any, sorry, I'm leaving out people. If I had any idea how passionate people were about Doctor Who, I feel like
it's intimidating, right?
It was kind of intimidating when I first got cast, because even though there was no social media, there was a lot of tabloid press suggesting that people were really pissed that I was playing that part. And I was a bit that's a bit scary. But I don't think I truly understood the level of devotion. And thank God, because I may have never done it.
Well, clearly, you've had the opportunity to inhabit the role many times, throughout your career, and the fans love you, and obviously,
the fans changed their mind in the end. It was all, we don't want her, she's a singer, whatever. That doesn't make any sense. To a lot of warmth and acceptance and love for the character. So that was a good turnout.
So for Rose, was you just auditioned, or was there a certain weird sort of way it came about?
It was a really basic trad auditioning process. Go to the BBC, learn your lines, and do an audition with the most beautiful Russell T Davies in the room, who is not frightening at all, is huge and a giant, but the most gentle, kind soul. And Julie Gardner and Phil Collinson, and I did the audition, and I wasn't feeling very well every day. I remember eating a brownie before I went in that I then regretted because I had reflux and a cold. And then I was like, I'll just tell them I don't feel well, that's my excuse not to be any good. And then I think probably a week later I got a recall to audition with Chris Sexton.
We had Chris on earlier on Friday, and it was so lovely. Was it Friday? Yesterday, actually.
What day is it?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's all blurred together for me, so I don't know. Was the character of Rose, was it with Russell, was it fully formed, or as you sort of had a chance to massage it a little bit and sort of, what was that like?
The things that make up Rose were there on the page. I think once he cast me and sort of saw what I was doing with the part, maybe he wrote around that a bit, I think. But yeah, the essence of Rose was very much there. And I knew that girl. I was that girl, you know. I knew what it was like growing up in a working class family. I knew, you know, I knew those women. I knew those mums, chip shops. I knew that world, so it didn't feel like a massive leap for me. It felt like something I could really cling on to and have a crack at.
We really enjoyed our conversation yesterday. I mean, just from our short time, you know, clearly he's saucy to say the least.
He's saucy?
So I was going to ask you, what was your experience like with Christopher during your time?
Wait, Christopher Eggleston's saucy?
Maybe a little bit, you know.
Saucy how? Like, that kind of saucy. All kinds of saucy.
All the songs.
Oh, all the songs. Okay, what was the question?
What was it like working with him?
Oh, it was really lovely to work with him. I really admired him as an actor. Like, I thought he was the real deal. Like, he felt to me to be, you know, one of those really well-respected, earthy, real actors in the UK. So I was kind of like nervous working with him because it was my first acting job and he was, you know, a seasoned actor of theatre and film and everything. But yeah, I loved working with him. We managed to have a laugh even though it was quite scary filming it because we had no idea whether it was going to be good or well received or whether it was going to work. We were working for this first time with a lot of sort of technology and CGI that I don't think either of us had sort of worked with before. I'd never worked as an actor and he'd only worked with other flesh and blood humans. So it felt like new ground for both of us. I think that's something that really united us. And it kind of feels mad as well, the circumstances you find yourself in. And for all of those reasons, it was a really great experience. But I don't think we had necessarily the emotional freedom that we had in the second season because we hadn't been a success by that point. And I think, so we were coasting that line of, is this going to work? Whereas when it hit, and it did work, that meant that as actors in production, generally speaking, we could really just enjoy it a lot more the second season. So, yeah.
Well, we get to audience questions here in a moment, so looks like you guys are already lining up. Inevitably, we always get asked, I guess, a couple of listening questions, like, for instance, like, do you have a favorite characteristic of Rose, like that as you look back at your time as her, is there something that's endearing or favorite for you that's sort of near and dear?
Yeah. Okay, well, what I loved about Rose is that she wants something more out of her life. And as a young person, she realizes how easy it is to get stuck in a sort of humdrum pattern of domesticity and, you know, sort of regular expectations. And you can see her real struggle with that. And I can totally relate to that. And she just goes for it, and I just love that about her. And she continues to go for it to the point where she sort of feels like, to me at least, that she's running the show. Like, you know, she's behind. And feel free to disagree, but I feel like she is very much morally behind the Doctor. she often brings him back to a moral compass where he starts to
Humanizes him.
Yeah, and also sometimes he gets carried away with his own ego, which is understandable. He is, a man of many talents and 900 years old. But she sort of keeps him focused, I'd say.
Another common question is, do you have a favorite episode as you look back? I know there's so many to choose from, but do you have your favorite moments or episode?
Well, I always love, actually I have three. I love Tooth and Claw because it's so funny. And it was so funny to make. And I don't know, it just felt super fresh and kind of ridiculous and kind of exhilarating because we were we're always being chased, but I don't know, there was something about it that just rocked my world, and I love it to watch. It's one of my favorites to watch. And then I have a real passion for Father's Day. Oh, by the way, happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day here, right?
Yes,
yeah. So the episode Father's Day I love because it's very emotional. It was an opportunity for me to sort of connect with that side of the character a bit more. And then I really love Doomsday just because it was just so important to me personally.
As you now look back over time, and there's been many doctors and many companions and so many adventures, what are your thoughts on it now as you look back? And you're at cons, you encounter so many fans. I mean, you have a different perspective because you're not in it anymore. In the sense, what's your perspective on that?
Well, my perspective on it now that I have children of my own who are growing and passionate about certain things in the world. I think through my children I've been able to understand what those things mean, like the sort of passion behind the fandom of Doctor Who. And what I feel so moved by is that so many people I meet who are massive fans of Doctor Who have a story that unites them all. And I suppose, and some of those stories are quite challenging, that it's hard, and it's like there's a lot going on for a lot of the fans of Doctor Who, and you realise that it's a show that has somehow united them, and they've been able to find their own tribe, and they're accepted for their differences, their struggles. And that really moves me as a mother. I find that so, I love meeting people who are vulnerable enough to tell me their stories, and some of them are really tough. And it's just amazing that a TV show can sort of support or change the course of someone's mental health. You know what I mean? Like, it's mad to me and wonderful. And the older I get, and the older my children get, I feel more emotional and connected to the people that love the show for those reasons.
How old are your kids?
I've got a 14-year-old.
Okay.
The teen years.
Yeah, I love teen years.
And I have an 11-year-old, just pre-teen years, getting that teen flavour coming through. And I have a 4-year-old. Yeah. So just as some of them are like emotionally separating themselves from you, I've still got the shaky one. But yeah, they're gorgeous.
Have they had a chance to check out some of the Doctor Who?
It's so funny. With the boys, they were never really drawn to it or into it. And I remember showing them something when they were quite young, and I think they found it, they weren't at an age where they were able to separate me as their mother from an actor. And so they just were genuinely concerned for me. Like, why is this thing happening to you?
The lights are chasing you.
The lights are chasing you, we don't want to watch. And they found it quite frightening. And so they never really picked it up. their friends, some of their friends are really into it, and then I don't know about my daughter yet. I haven't shown her anything yet because I know she's even more cautious than the boys are about scary storylines and things. So we'll see. But maybe maybe in like a year or something.
Once my daughter saw the Weeping Angels, she was out.
That's a terrible one to show your child.
I thought she would like it, and she was just like, I'm out.
Even I can't watch that.
It took years for her to get back into it.
I know, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you don't want to traumatize them, but it's also like...
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go to our audience here, so go ahead and tell us your name, how many awesome cons, and tell us your one question.
Hi, Billie.
Hi.
My name is Kelly. This is my 9th Awesome Con.
Wow.
And you were actually one of the guests that brought me here to my first one. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you again.
Oh, nice to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. My question to you is, who is an actor or actress that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with in the future?
Okay. Who would I love to work with? Okay. Maybe Jennifer Lawrence. She's one of my favorite actresses. Maybe Jonah Hill. Just because I think he is such a skilled actor. Like, he can do comedy, but he can also do really emotional work. Robert De Niro, because he's a ledge. I mean, the list is pretty endless, to be honest, but when I think about it, those are the ones that kind of light my fire, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And over here, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Danielle. I've been here since the first lesson on sans the COVID years.
All right.
I also saw you the first time you were here, so thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
And I love you, Penny Dreadful.
Oh,
I wanted to mention that.
thank you.
My question is, if you were able to play any character, whether it be traditionally man, female, animated, other, who would it be?
So early. Okay, no, it's totally fine. Okay.
Even if it's a certain role that you're coming to try that you've never done before.
Yeah. Oh God. I would like to play, like, because we're here and it's, a genre-based experience, I would like to play like a female Deadpool. Just because I could, well, hopefully be like foul-mouthed and inappropriate and, violent. Thank you.
Clearly, you know your audience. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Brianna. I'm a huge fan. You're my first companion. Thank you. My question for you today. Oh, this is my first.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for bringing me here. My question for you is, what was the transition like, both as an actor and personally, transitioning between working with Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant?
It was really hard, to be honest, and I feared it, because I'd obviously built this rapport with Chris, and when he said he was leaving, I was really upset, to the point where I thought, well, maybe I'll leave. And then I went and had dinner with David, and I just immediately liked him so much. I sound so fickle, that I felt that we could find our own way through into the second season, and that was just, off a dinner, and then I saw him act, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fine. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think there was maybe a bit of, almost like a mini grief around Chris leaving, and then I sort of very quickly attached myself to David to try and look for comfort. And it
Well, you
just,
did amazing.
it just turned into something very genuine. So yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Did you have a favorite moment with David as you look back over the years?
There were a lot, to be honest. Idiot's Lantern, we had a lot.
Behind the scenes too. So.
Yeah, well, we had really good fun behind the scenes. Turning on the Christmas lights in Cardiff was a particular highlight. I mean, sort of anything we did socially was always quite a laugh. But Idiot's Lantern we had a laugh on, just because there was some ridiculous sort of CGI stuff. On reflection, it sounds so boring, but at the time, there are moments when you get so tired of filming that something becomes completely hilarious. And when my face disappears in that moment, trying to achieve that scene with dots all over my face for the CGI just brought us so many laughs. I think we did like 30 takes of it. So yeah.
There you go. All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jeff, my 7th AwesomeCon.
Wow.
My question is, knowing that the Doctor goes on so many dangerous, perilous adventures, would you ever do that again?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I really hope there's an option to do something in the future with Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Sheree, and this is my husband and I's first AwesomeCon. Guess who brought me here was looking at your name on the guest list.
Yeah!
I was like, oh my God, I'm geeking out right now. So thank you so much, because it is amazing to get to see you here.
Thank you.
You're definitely my favorite companion.
Yay!
My question is, what was it like for you to see the TARDIS for the first time?
Okay, well, because I didn't have a history of watching Doctor Who, I couldn't understand why everyone was going so mental. Like, I thought it was like, okay, cool. But some people were like, oh my God, but I don't know, when I dug around in the console, the sort of central console, I found all these little things which I stole. And I became quite passionate about the TARDIS. But not as passionate as David. Yeah, he really went ham on that. Thank you.
All right. So over here. All right, go ahead.
Hello.
Go to one.
Hi. I'm Rose. This is my first AwesomeCon. I was wondering if you had a favorite Rose quote from Doctor Who.
Good question.
Ooh. Well, I love, it's very simple, but at the moment I love No More. I love that. Just because it's so simple, but it was a load of fun to say. Repeatedly. Anything to do with chips, love that. Yeah. You'd probably be better at remembering them than me, because I'm old now, and you were very young, Rose, so, but yeah, I mean, those are the ones that spring to my mind, the ones I had sort of most fun with.
Rose, have you been watching Doctor Who for a long time?
Yeah,
Wow. It hasn't scared you or anything?
a little bit.
But you're a brave, strong girl, so that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, I've been, of course, a fan of all kinds of, pop culture IP, as well as going to cons for a long time. But one thing that's become Doctor Who's so special has been how the fandom really does stretch from young to, old. And it's incredible just how, regardless of who you are, what generation, your experiences, it really is a complete breadth from start to finish.
It's
crazy,
wild,
right?
isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
so few things do that. It's incredible. I love that about it.
Why do you think it appeals to such a broad range?
The thing is, I can't ever fully understand what that is. I feel like it appeals to a certain type of person, and the serious fandom, and I think that in that sense, it's not really about how old they are, how young they are, whether they're male, female, whatever. It's a certain person that looks at the world in a certain way, that has life experiences that affect them in a certain way, that leads them to a show like Doctor Who, where it's so accepting, and so it's kind of remarkable in that way.
All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Marina.
Hi.
Hello. This is my second Awesome Con. And just what you were saying right now is super touching because, I think just because the show is so long, there's such a sense of hopelessness with all the struggles that the Doctor goes through. And so even though, it's science fiction and it's 900-year-old aliens.
Yes.
I think it's just so easy to connect to. We're struggling and there's the hopelessness as stretches out ahead of you. But that's I think why the Doctor's epic moments hit so hard. It's just really awesome. But,
That's a great way of discussing that, I think. I think that probably rings true for a lot of people, the fight and then maybe the victory. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Thank you. But my question was, my best friend and I, her name's Lee, she says hi too. She's wondering what do you think the Doctor and Rose's home life would have been like if they'd been able to be a normal couple?
That is something I've always wanted Russell to write. Something that is just so domestic, in a house with a pet, doing day-to-day chores. I would love to see that. I really wish that Russell would write that for a comic relief or a one-off special for children in need or something. I don't know. I always wonder if they were if they have some sort of weird trauma bond because they go through so much together all the time and it's always a case of life or death. If they were then having to just load the dishwasher or whatever, whether they fight all the time. It's just niggly, niggly crap that just, makes them angry. I'd love to see that.
Let's make it happen. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, I met you yesterday, so hello.
Hi.
But
Oh, I'm in red. As Christopher put it.
Yes. But I mentioned to Chris yesterday that for me, the moment that he gave the Turn of the Earth monologue was the moment it clicked for me, oh, I want to know more about this character, this actor, this storyline. What was the moment for you where you kind of had that light bulb, ooh, I want to know more about this person, the Doctor, or this actor's approach to the Doctor? What was that moment for you with Chris and David?
Oh, that's an amazing question. that it's sort of different because I think I've had loads of those all day, every day. I was always so impressed by the very basic things. Yes, I was impressed by what the doctor was saying, obviously, and in that case, impressed by Russell, who wrote it. But watching them sort of deliver those long morality tales, I was in awe of it, really, just on a day-to-day basis. I don't think I could single out any little moment, well, not little moment, but anything that sort of stood out, because I think I was always like, I can't believe you're able to do this. Yeah, I would say just generally, broadly speaking, I was always just a bit like, how is this happening? Yeah. Sorry for being more specific, but that's my honest answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This might be our last question, so let's do this. Okay, go for it.
Hi, Billie. I'm
Hello.
Julia. This is my 5th Awesome Con, and thank you for coming back to my hometown, so we're happy to have you here. I know that you've been a part of the Big Finish audio group for a long time. I love the stories that you and David have been able to do, and the new stories that you're doing with, being in the alternate Earth and whatnot has been amazing, and I'm looking forward to more of those stories to see what Rose has been doing since before returning to Journey's End between Doomsday. So what has been your favorite story that you got to do for Big Finish so far? Or if you want to drop a teaser, like Christopher Eccleston did yesterday. He dropped a teaser that he's done a project for the 60th anniversary with an actor. He didn't say who, but somebody who he thinks would have been an amazing doctor if they were given the opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah, big teaser.
I don't have anything quite like that. Okay, what can I say?
It can be something you've done already.
Well, anything with Camille, I love.
We love Jackie. She's
We
fantastic.
love Jackie. So anytime I get to, I think in the last series of the Big Finish stuff, we did a few eps together. And it's just so weird how we don't see each other. We don't really speak to each other on the phone. But when we meet up, it's just like my second mum, and we immediately slip into old patterns. And laugh so much. So anything with Jackie, I really, really enjoy. And what can I tease? I can tease that I have signed on to do more.
Yay!
God, I really hope I'm allowed to say that.
Someone asked if you and Christopher Eccleston will do Big Finish audio stories together. So now we all need to get in touch with Big Finish to tell them that we want this to happen.
That's a good idea.
We want more Rose and Ninth Doctor stories. I hope I'm not the only one.
Oh yeah, you should. You should. Raise awareness.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for being here.
Well, on that note, unfortunately our time is
Oh, it's
concluded.
getting all crazy.
I know, right?
Let my foot's up.
Well, if you want more opportunities with Billie, you actually had a companion photo op with you and Amanda Gill doing a photo op together.
At what time?
It's at 12:40. If you're interested, you can purchase a photo op on the AwesomeCon website or at the Epic booth in Hall A. And so it's a cool companion duo photo op, so definitely take that opportunity. So, but thank you so much.